You wake up, make your coffee, scroll through your phone, and there it is. Images of children buried in rubble, buildings turned to ash, lives snuffed out before they even had a chance to begin. You pause. Maybe you flinch. But then you keep scrolling, don't you? Because it's easier. It's more convenient to pretend that what's happening in Gaza is a distant horror movie, not real life, not your problem. But let me tell you something. If you're comfortable watching human suffering from the safety of your sofa and feeling nothing, then you're part of the problem. This isn't just a crisis. It's a catastrophe on a scale that demands your full attention, not a passing glance. And the truth, it's ugly. It's uncomfortable. It will make you sick to your stomach. But that's exactly why you need to look. That's why you must not look away. Because strength isn't found in turning your back. It's found in facing reality head on, no matter how brutal it is. Some people say, I don't watch the news anymore. It's too negative. Well, forgive me if I don't sympathize. When people are losing their homes, their families, their limbs, and their lives, you don't get to opt out because you've had a stressful day. You think discomfort is bad. Try being a father digging his daughter out of a collapsed building with his bare hands. That's discomfort. That's despair. What we need now is a spine, a collective spine, the guts to admit that what's happening is real and that it matters, that we should care. You don't need to be Palestinian or Israeli to be outraged. You just need to be human. And if that doesn't stir something deep inside you, then maybe it's time to question whether you've gone numb or worse, indifferent. Why are so many people whispering in a world that's screaming? Why, when the bombs are falling and the innocent are dying, do the voices of reason go silent? Let me tell you why. Because silence is easy. Silence is safe. But silence in the face of injustice is cowardice dressed in politeness. And right now the world doesn't need polite. It needs unapologetic truth. It needs a spine. The destruction in Gaza is not just another geopolitical headline. It's a test of your moral courage. Will you speak or will you blend into the background like wallpaper? Every time you choose comfort over truth, every time you swallow your voice for the sake of convenience or fear of backlash, you're giving permission for evil to continue unchecked. That's the real danger. Not the missiles, but the muteness. You see, real character is revealed when it's unpopular to speak. When the room falls quiet and all eyes turn on you, that's when you find out what you're really made of. Will you back down, or will you stand up and say what needs to be said, even if your voice shakes? That's what integrity looks like. That's what leadership sounds like. And make no mistake, the world doesn't need more sheep. It needs lions. Some people say, well, it's complicated. No. Murdering children isn't complicated. Flattening cities isn't a grey area. It's wrong. Full stop. If your voice trembles when saying that, good. That means you still have a soul. Use it. Raise your voice, raise your standard, and raise the bar for what we call humanity, because history won't remember the ones who stayed silent. It never does. It remembers the ones who had the courage to roar. When everyone else went quiet, there's a moment when the noise fades, when the smoke clears, and you're left staring at the wreckage of lives, of homes, of entire futures erased in seconds. And in that moment, you have a choice. You either let the pain harden you into apathy, or you let it ignite something in you that refuses to be extinguished. That's the difference between bystanders and change makers. That's the fire every decent human being needs to find. Let's not sugarcoat this. What's happening in Gaza is raw, visceral agony. It's the kind of suffering that should break your heart. And if it doesn't, ask yourself why. Ask yourself how you become so numb to the screams of children and the despair in a mother's eyes as she buries her son. But here's the truth: pain, when faced head on, is not just a burden. It's a call to action. It's fuel. Use it. You want purpose. There it is, in every shattered window, in every displaced family, in every life reduced to statistics. Purpose isn't found in comfort. It's forged in struggle. It's built in the darkest places where humanity seems most lost, because that's exactly where it's needed most. Don't waste your pain. Don't waste theirs. Channel it, transform it. Let it move you to write, to protest, to challenge, to expose, to fight. The world doesn't need more numb observers. It needs fierce hearts. It needs people who feel deeply and then do something about it. The kind of people who take tragedy and turn it into resistance, who take heartbreak and build hope. That's what defines you, not your status, not your wealth, but your willingness to turn pain into purpose, even when the whole damn world wants you to forget. Here's the truth that most people don't want to hear: having a platform and choosing not to use it when it matters most is one of the greatest moral failures of our time. You don't get to pick and choose when to care. You don't get to stay quiet when lives are being obliterated and still pretend you stand for anything meaningful. If you've got a voice, then for God's sake, use it. And if you won't step aside and stop pretending you stand for justice, truth, or humanity. Too many people today have reach, followers, influence, attention, and they waste it. Wasted on vanity, wasted on empty trends. While Gaza burns and innocent families are torn apart, they post their breakfast, their gym selfies, their curated, consequence-free lives. It's pathetic. Worse, it's a betrayal of the very thing influence was meant for: impact. Don't tell me it's not your lane. Don't say it's political. Since when is human life a debate topic? You think neutrality makes you smart. It doesn't. It makes you irrelevant. When the world is on fire, silence isn't wisdom, it's complicity. People with power who stay silent become enablers of the very horrors they claim to abhor. If you've been blessed with attention, if people listen when you speak, then make damn sure what you say matters, because every voice raised in truth pushes back against darkness. And if you stay quiet, know this, history won't be kind. It won't care how pretty your feed looked. It will ask where you were when the bombs fell, when the children cried, when justice needed champions. And if your answer is silence, then don't expect to be remembered, because you won't be. We live in a world that confuses compassion with weakness, as if caring somehow makes you soft, fragile, or naïve. What absolute rubbish. Let me be clear. In a time where cruelty is rampant and apathy is fashionable, to care, to truly unapologetically care, is one of the most defiant acts of strength there is. Compassion is not weakness. It's resistance. It's rebellion against a system that feeds on your indifference. When you watch civilians in Gaza dig their loved ones out of rubble, and it stirs something deep in your chest, that's not a flaw. That's not oversensitivity. That's your humanity flickering in a world desperate to extinguish it. Don't run from that feeling. Don't bury it. Use it. Let it remind you that you are not immune. Let it push you beyond just feeling bad into actually doing something. That ache in your chest, that's your conscience waking up. We've become too comfortable with being numb. We've trained ourselves to watch horror unfold like it's a movie scene. Tragic, sure, but distant safe. But compassion, real, gut-punching, keep you up at night. Compassion demands something from you. It pulls you into the chaos and says, this matters. This is your fight too. And don't mistake the quiet empathy of the brave with the loud indifference of the cowards. The strongest people I know are the ones who cry when they see injustice and then wipe their tears and act. The ones who care so much it hurts and then still keep going. That's courage. That's what changes the world. You want to make a difference. Start by refusing to be numb. Start by having the courage to care in a world that's doing everything it can to make you stop. There comes a time when you either stand up and confront power or you become its pawn. Right now, in the face of devastation, in the ruins of Gaza, in the echoes of war crimes disguised as strategy, that time is staring us in the face. And the question is simple. Will you challenge the ones pulling the strings, or will you obediently look the other way like everyone else? Power, when left unchallenged, turns monstrous. It becomes comfortable in its cruelty. It convinces itself it's righteous, necessary, even heroic, while flattening neighborhoods and turning children into statistics. And if you're not willing to be the thorn in its side, then what exactly are you? A spectator, a bystander, a silent partner in the theater of violence. I don't care how big the institution is. I don't care how polished the press conference sounds or how many flags they wave when they bomb another hospital. If you've got a conscience, you have a duty to ask the hard questions, to challenge the official narrative, to demand proof, accountability, justice, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient. Especially then, because the most dangerous thing in this world isn't violence, it's obedience. It's blind loyalty to power structures that have long since lost their moral compass. Be relentless, be sharp, be unyielding. If that makes you unpopular, good, you're not here to be liked. You're here to be heard. The world doesn't change because of those who play it safe. It changes because someone somewhere had the audacity to ask, who gave you the right, and didn't stop asking. Be that person. Challenge. Provoke. Push. Make power nervous. Because when it is, it reveals its true face. And once that mask slips, there's no going back.